for joining us for Ohio & Company. I'm Jeanne Hogan. We've got a lot in store today. See how one organization is bringing magic into the lives of Ohio's sick children. Plus, we hear from a Columbus area pastor turned author on the inspiration for his new book. But first, no one should go hungry. That's the philosophy behind the Mid-Ohio Foodbank, an organization dedicated to making food available in times of need. Joining me from the Mid-Ohio Foodbank is Colin Baumgartner, and welcome. We're so glad you're here today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start off by talking about the mission of the Mid-Ohio Foodbank.
Well, you said it perfectly there. We believe that nobody should go hungry, and that's really what we strive to do at the food bank. So we break that down into several key elements, but the top of that is collecting and distributing food to make sure that we get food to the hungry people in our community who need it. On top of that, we advocate on behalf of hungry people and hungry food programs. We collaborate with others who address basic human needs, and then we try to educate the community about hunger too.
And that's why this organization is so important to all of Ohio.
That's right. That's right. We serve 20 counties of the 88 in Ohio, but we're part of a state association that covers the entire state. Each of the 88 counties in the state of Ohio has a food bank that serves that county. And between all of the food banks across the state, that's 150 million plus pounds of food every year that we're distributing.
Wow, quite a bit.
It's a lot.
So even when people donate to their small suburbs, it's all connected.
Yeah, we have over 550 partner agencies, we call them, and those are food pantries and soup kitchens and emergency shelters, after-school programs, senior meal sites. Basically anybody that's giving food away for free, there's a pretty good chance they're getting some of that from us, or they're a partner with us in that mission.
Let's talk about where the food bank gets its food. There's many different sources.
That's right. That's right. About half of our food comes from what we call the food industry. So that's, the grocery stores that we all shop at, and some of the companies within those stores that might donate directly to the food bank. On top of that, we get a good chunk of our food from government sources, which is USDA and TFAT product. And it's also freshly grown Ohio produce from Ohio farmers through the agriculture clearance program here in the state. And then the community plays a vital role too. We rely on them for financial support that we then turn into food. So for every dollar that comes in our doors, we're able to distribute $8 worth of groceries to the community. So we have tremendous buying power, which is why we tell the community to donate money when they can. And also folks do food drives for us from time to time throughout the year. And we've got a big one coming up here in March, and that's our Operation Feed Food Drive.
And let's talk about the details of that one, because
Sure.
we really want the communities to get involved.
Yeah, this is it's been going on since the very beginning of the food bank, which dates all the way back to 1980. Operation Feed then was the original name of the food bank, but we changed it to become more geographic sensitive, I guess, to Mid-Ohio Foodbank back in the mid-'80s. And Operation Feed is kind of stuck as the name of our spring and summertime food drive. It's very much a workplace model, and it's kind of the traditional sense where we have over 200 companies and organizations in the community get involved in the fight against hunger, doing fundraisers within the workplace and things like that to give back. We're expanding on that a little bit this year. Certainly workplaces and organizations can get involved, but on top of that, this year we have a few other exciting things in the works. So in May, the letter carriers will be doing their drive, and that's an easy way for folks to get involved. All you got to do is set your bag out, and your postal carrier will pick that up and bring it to either your local pantry or to the food bank. In June, we do our food fight every year, which is an initiative with several local restaurants where they all give a percentage of their proceeds from the day back to the food bank, so keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
And then we'll also be doing some things with at different retail outlets this year. So you'll look for the posters in some of the grocery stores you visit, and it's a really easy way to give back. You just pull off a little coupon and they scan it. Some of that money comes back to the food bank. So lots of easy ways to get involved.
You're trying to make it easier for people.
Easier is better, right?
And even though some of the food comes from big companies and other comes from small households, nothing is too small, nothing is too big. It's all very important.
Yeah, we have a saying that dates back to a long time before my time at the food bank, that if everybody does a little bit, the food bank can do a lot. And that's really true when you talk about those small community food drives. They all make a difference. The kids that bring some food into school and that comes to the food bank, that might not seem like a lot when you look at our 200,000 square foot warehouse, but if every school does that, it makes a huge difference.
And you're distributing to the smaller communities and the smaller suburbs, and that's how it gets across Ohio.
That's correct. So those 550 agencies, a lot of them are food pantries where folks will shop through just like they would at a grocery store. The only difference is the food in that pantry is going to be free to those clients that are qualifying and that need that help. And we have over 300 of those in our 20 county service territory. So they're all over. There's probably one nearby in your neighborhood.
And you talked about partners across the state. How important are they?
Very important. I mean, the retail partners, obviously we couldn't do what we do if we didn't have that. And obviously the community partners that, particularly during our Operation Feed Time, that participate, they're vital to the role of feeding hungry people.
What about the nutrition initiatives? Because you want the food that's going out to be nutritious.
That's right.
That's got to be important to the recipients as
well.
That's
right. And fresh produce is obviously the number one thing when you talk about nutritious product that we're able to get out. Our national network, which is Feeding America, estimates that as a country we waste about 3 to 6 billion pounds of produce, that's billion with a B, every year.
Too much.
So last May at our food bank, we happened to have a lot of meeting room space. We hosted a produce gathering with over 300 people, and that was produce industry professionals and food bankers, and just anybody who had a vested interest in the produce industry was invited to come for an open discussion on ways that we might get more produce in and more produce out. As a result of that, last July through October, we did 150 produce markets, which set up just like your local farmer's market, except it's all produce that the food bank brought into a local pantry, and they're distributing it for free. So you'd have 2 trucks, 20,000 pounds of produce go out in an hour, 2 hours time, and through those produce markets and some other produce initiatives last July through October, 6.6 million pounds of produce was distributed to families that need it.
And those recipients are getting healthy food.
That's the best food you can get, is those healthy whole foods, and that really makes up about half of our inventory now. When you take into account the produce, which is about 30% of our inventory, and you add the frozen meats and the dairy products, you're getting close to about half of our inventory.
Colin Baumgartner with the Mid-Ohio Foodbank, thank you so much for joining us today.
Having me.
And to learn more about the Mid-Ohio Foodbank's initiatives, log on to midohiofoodbank.org. Up next, learn how you can help a sick Ohio child feel like a kid again. Ohio & Company.